Okay, so we're up to Halacha Dalet. So we're Siman Mem Vov, Halacha Dalet. Tzorich levarich b'chol yom. We're going through the Birchas Hashachar. So yesterday we did the halachas that a person should make mea brachas b'chol yom. Now we're going through the various brachas. Tzorich levarich b'chol yom, Shelo Asani Oved Kechavim, Shelo Asani Eved, Shelo Asani Isha. Those are the three brachas that we're all very familiar with. Says the Ramah, Fa'afilu ger, even a person who converted, a ger, hayochel levarich kach, he can make this bracha. He can make it kach. Avol lo yom shelo asani akum. Shehari akum mitchila. He was an akum originally, so it's not appropriate for him to say shelo asani akum. V'hanoshim mevarchus she'asani kirtzaynei. Women make the bracha of she'asani kirtzaynei. Okay, it says in Mishnah Berurah, you've got in Tezvav, shelo asani Ovid Kechavim. V'yizah shelo yivarech she'asani Yisrael. He shouldn't make the bracha of phrased in that way, she'asani Yisrael. K'mo sheyesh be'ezeh sidurim al yedei shibush hatfus. That's a printer's error. Ki yesh omrim shebezeh lo yuchel yivarech shuv shelo asani Eved v'shelo asani Isha. Because once he said the nusach she'asani Yisrael, then memela that means he's a male Yisrael, and he doesn't need to make the bracha of Shelo Asani Oved, because in Yisrael means a free man, and Yisrael means a male. So therefore, by saying Shelo Asani Yisrael instead of Shelo Asani Akum or Nachri, then he's going to get into problems. So he should just stick with the nusach that we are familiar with. Ovid Kechavim, V'im Berech Mitchila Shelo Asani Isha. Interesting thing. What if he makes a mistake? He's tired. He gets up in the morning and he says brachas. And instead of saying the order of Shelo Asani Oved Kechavim or Nachri, Shelo Asani Eved, Shelo Asani Isha, he jumps straight to Shelo Asani Isha. So Memela he's covered the other two. So says the Mishnah Berurah, Yesh Omrim, Teshuv lo yochel levarech Shelo Asani Akum v'Shelo Asani Oved. You can't now make those two brachas. Ki im birch Shelo Asani Eved lo yochel levarech. Ki Isha adifa mishtein, because once he said Shelo Asani Isha, you've already sort of covered those two. That's included in your thanks. Included in 200 is 100. So too, if a person makes the bracha that he's not an Eved, he can't make the bracha Shelo Asani Goy. Again, the second one, Ki Eved Odif Migoy. The Chaim mixes mitzvahs because he's also Chaim in some mitzvahs. Many achronim argue with this. That if a guy did mess up and said Shelo Asani Isha first, he is able to do brachas number 1 and 2 still. Okay, Shelo Asani Oved. What if a person who is born into Avdus? Can he say it? Should he say it? Some say he can't even make the bracha of Shelo Asani Isha, ki Eved ziltfei me'isha, because the Eved is on a lower strata than the Isha in terms of mitzvahs, etc. And therefore we shouldn't say it. V'yesh cholkin, and others argue ayin b'prima godim. Yochel levarich. So this is going on the Ramah, that a ger is still able to make this brachas. Pirush sheyoma, that he could say she'asani ger to mikri asiya. What do you mean he made me a ger? Is that called asiyah? So the answer is yes. K'dechsiv v'es hanefesh asher osu b'choron. That's the nusach. They were made. V'yesh cholkin b'zeh, and some argue. V'tayom d'l'shayich l'mesha asani. You can't say that you made me a ger. He chose, he elected to become Jewish. He chose the correct the correct religion. But everyone agrees that he can't make the bracha Shelo Asani Oved v'Shelo Asani Isha. Even though the akum is considered worse or lower than the Eved in this respect. If he was born an Eved, pen lo hay Hashachar Rabbi, for Hinisha Eved, maybe he would stay an Eved. The gear is up to him. Does he chooses to become Jewish or not? Mamza, Yochel levarech kol eila brachas. A mamzer is allowed to make all of these brachas. Shlosani akum, shlosani eved, and shlosani isha. The Yisrael Gomer, a mamzer who is born from an inappropriate relationship, whatever it may be, Eishasish or something like that, he is still a Yisrael Gomer, and therefore he can make these brachas. V'chein summa, so to a blind person, to kaimelon du chayiv b'chol mitzvahs, he is chayiv in all mitzvahs. V'tumtum v'androgenes, someone who is either got both simonim or neither simon, to chayovin misofek b'chol mitzvahs, he's a chayiv al sfeika, lo yomer shlosani isha, to sofek him. He can't say shlosani isha because maybe he is, and therefore it would be inappropriate to say that bracha. And we finished off and we said that the isha, we said this is going on. Lo yom shlosani akum. A ger shouldn't say shlosani akum. Ha'ayin magen avram behetiv. Okay, good. Halacha hey. Im kidei mubirich zokev kufufim. Again, a person is tired, let's say, and he gets the order wrong. And before he says matir asurim, he says zokev kufufim. So im kidei mubirich zokev kufufim, kodim shivarach matir asurim, lo yivarchena. You shouldn't make it bracha now. It says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Kotten Chaf, Lo Yivarchena, Shekiven Shenosen Hoidah Sheniskaf Legamri. What does it mean, Zokef Kufufim? That he makes straight those who are bent over. So once a person has made that bracha, when a person Nebuch is confined, he's got a back problem, and he can't get out of bed, and he makes that bracha afterwards, then he says Zokef Kufufim with a lot more feeling. But if a person says Zokef Kufufim before Matzah Asurim, Zeh Bichlal, the matzah asurim is chayav miyad kasheyeshev, because as soon as you sit down, you're released. You're matzah asurim. You're released from your confinement. V'yesh cholkim b'zeh. Others argue, well, maske achronim lahakel b'zeh, and the achronim are makel, and therefore, if a person by mistake said zokev kufufim first, you would still be able to make the bracha of matzah asurim. For konsa prima godim, the toiv sheyireh sheyishma achkach me'acha bracha v'yichaven lotzis v'yotzim monoshach. The best solution is to find someone who's not yet made the brachas and let him make the bracha of matzah asurim, and he'll be moitzi you. Im b'shah she'omer baruch ato Hashem. Now another error. What if a person, when he says the beginning of the bracha, the opening, baruch ato Hashem, his kavanah levarach zokev kufufim, his kavanah was to say Zokev Kufufim, Yesayim Zokev Kufufim. He's got a, sorry, I've missed the line. No, I haven't. In B'shah Shama Baruch Ato Hashem, Hoyse Kavanosoi, Levarach Zokev Kufufim, Yesayim Zokev Kufufim. Even though he was up to Matir Asurim, but he was thinking, for whatever reason, when he says Baruch Ato Hashem, I'm up to Zokev Kufufim, you should be Messiahim what you were thinking, and finish off Zokev Kufufim. Afal Gav, even though you now can no longer say Matzah Asurim. And certainly with the other brachas where we're not worried about the Seder, if you had a kavana at the beginning, you should finish off with that kavana. And you should be Messiahim the bracha as per your kavana at the beginning of the bracha. Now, that's the Chai Odom. When you came to the bracha of Pekeh Ivrim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu opens the eyes of the blind. And he wanted to be Messiah like that. Nichshal bil shoinoi, and he messed up, he stumbled. V'siyem malbish arumim, ubatoich kedei dibur nizka v'siyem Pekeh Ivrim. So he had in mind when he said Baruch Ato Hashem Pekeh Ivrim, that's where he was up to, and by a mistake, just malbish arumim came out. And quickly he recovered, and he said Pekeh Ivrim. Yesh Omrim de Yotza Bezeh Yidei Birchas Pekechem. Some say his Yotza, Ki Bezeh Ikasiyum Arishan, because Lamaisa, that was his Kavona in the Baruch Ato Hashem part of the bracha, the beginning of the bracha, and that's how he finished off eventually. The Yesh Mistapkin Bezeh, and some are uncertain. Avalim B'Shosh Omer Baruch Ato Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Choshev Gamkein L'Sayim Malbish Harumim. If he intended to say Malbish Harumim, and suddenly he said Pekeh Ivrim at the end. L'kula alma yotze de birkas malbish harumim. Everyone agrees. Then you have been yotze the brach of malbish harumim. V'choyzim mevarach Pekeh Ivrim, and you can go back and say Pekeh Ivrim. Ki ein haseder ma'akev. The seder of brachas generally is not ma'akev. Ki hu v'chein hu adin b'chol birchas Hashachar, and that's true with all birchas Hashachar. Levad min birchas matzah asurim zokev kufufim. Apart from those two that we mentioned, im higdim birchas zokev kufufim. If you by mistake did zokev kufufim first, or b'toich they did see matzah asurim, and quickly you recovered and said matzah asurim, the after lo yotza b'zeh rak bracha achas. even though you only actually ticked off one bracha, v'hi birchas v'shenish zokev kufim, which is the bracha which you said first of zokev kufim, afilu hachi lo yivarech shuv matzah asurim. Then in that situation, since you said zokev kufim, you no longer say matzah asurim. Okay, halacha vav. Yesh nagin levarech hanoisen la yoef koyach ve'ein divrehen nirin. Interesting. Says the Mechaber, we don't make that bracha, but we know, of course, we go like the Ramah. The Ramah says Haga ach haminig pashut b'vnei Ashkenazim la'amra. Our minig is to say hanoisen la yoef koyach. Says Mishnah Berurah. V'chein hiskimu achronim, and that's what the achronim agree that we do indeed say this bracha. La'amra. I'm curious. I wonder if the Sfaradim Taka don't say it. Yeah, what does it say? Really, the Gam Livnei Sfard Kosfa Birki Yosef VaKaf Chaim Shekvan Ispashet Haminag Al Pi the Arizal. You do make the bracha. Interesting. Okay, thank you. So Sfardim do it. Yeah, I missed that one. Okay, Chaf Beis La Omra Rotzalema Bahaskar Shem Malchus. We say it properly with the Shem Malchus. Va'afilu Im Hayen Ner Kol Halayla. Even if a person was up the whole night, Gam Ken Yesh Levarech Oso. You can still say that bracha. I think he needs to say it with even more kavana. Yeah, he's going to have a tough day. Lefi Masha Onu Nagim Hayom Ba'Kagosh Sif Ches, which we're going to come to in the show. Okay, Zayin. Yesh Nagim Levarech Brachas Acheres Nesofes Al Elu V'Tosu B'Yodam. Some people want to add their own brachas, but that's a mistake. Says the Mishnah Berurah Chof Gimel V'Tos V'Ha'im Birchas Soimech Neiflim. Those who make a bracha, they add a new bracha, Soimech Neiflim, Garin Boy. You rebuke him. If the Chazan all of a sudden introduces new brachas, you tell him off. Or the Indian Birchas Magbia Shefolim, I'm B'Magen Avram, I'm B'Magen Shekosov Da'ayom, to Kayem Yesh Ligab Misha Noeg La'omra Ayin Sham. Yeah, again, introducing these new brachas, we don't do it, and you can tell someone off if they do it. Halacha Ches. Kol HaBrachos Ha'elu. Im Loi Nischayev Ba'achas Mehen. If a person is not chayiv in one of them, Kugoyin, Shelo Shama Kol Tarnagol, he never heard the cockerel crow, or Shelo Holach, or he didn't actually move, he didn't walk, or Lo Lovash, or he didn't get dressed, or Lo Chogar, he didn't put on the belt, Oime Oisa Bracha, B'Lo Yaskros Hashem. Says the Mechaber, you say the bracha, but just without the Shem Hashem. V'yesh Oimrim, Da'afilu Lo Nischayev Bohen Mevorech, Oisod. Even if you were not personally chayiv in that bracha, you didn't get dressed that day, or you didn't get out, or whatever it may be, you still make the bracha with the Shem Malchus. The ein habracha daf kalatz, when the bracha is not only on you, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu bara tzarchei ha'olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created all the needs of the world. V'chein ha'minag, and that is the minhag ve'ein l'shanas, and we shouldn't deviate from that practice. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah in Ches, Sivkot and Chavdalet, da'afilu. I'm b'sefer Elya Rabbah, shekosov the Birchas Elokai Neshama, the bracha of Elokai Neshama, or Birchas Hamavir Sheina, ein levarech im hoyaner kol halayla. These brachas, Elokai Neshama and Hamavir Sheina, if a person was awake the whole night, he doesn't make these brachas. Of a prima godim of a sharit tshuva, heshiru dvar b'tzorchiyun. Masik hasharit tshuva, to hear lishmoya elu shtei brachas mi'acha v'yichavinotzus. The best thing to do is to hear the bracha from somebody else and have in mind to be yotzeh. If a person slept very little, now there's a machlekes what shishim nishmin is, 60 breaths. Yeah, we had as a machlekes. We'll do the note in a second. These either 3 minutes, 30 minutes, or longer. I think 3 hours. 3 hours. So either one of those. So if you slept the minimum amount, and we la halacha will say la halacha is 30 minutes. That's always the cutoff. We'll see in a second. So if a person slept only shishin nishmin, which is this short time, which the maskana we're going to say is 30 minutes, then l'kula am yesh levarech osom. So long as you know you slept 30 minutes, then you would be able to make these brachas. In fact, let's do it now. If you look at footnote 29, yeah, v'imoyim mistapik, yeah, a person, for example, goes on a plane, right, and he's not sure did he sleep 30 minutes. So you speak to the person next to you, how long was I asleep for? You look at your watch. So in this stapik, he wasn't sure. You can make the bracha, but without the proper closing. If a person slept, but he's not sure if he slept enough, and he's mesupik about Netilas Yadayim, Kosev le'el, we said, shafilu b'laylim yoshen pochas mishis nishmin lo yivarech. You don't make the bracha. Now, the Bi'alacha there says Machloikas kama hu shir shisin nishmin. How long is this period of time? Sheyesher mishu shalashos, v'yesher mishu yosim chatzi shah, v'yesher mishu ma'at yosim shalosh dakas. Either 3 hours, 30 minutes, or 3 minutes. V'b'chai adam, in the K'sos HaShulchan, they write, Kosav l'inyan tilis adayim, in terms of washing your hands after you've slept this short amount, la'ach hashena she'im yoshen b'yom shisin nishmin shu chatzi shah yitl yadav. So the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says, if you have a shluf in the afternoon, for example, and you sleep for 30 minutes or more, you wash your hands. You've got to wash your hands. You don't make the bracha during the day, but you would have to wash your hands until it's time for sleeping more than 30 minutes. And then if you look at the bottom, and he brings others who said as well, for Tchein Das Agon Chaim Kanievsky, Le'inyan Chiyuv Netilas Yadayim Bebracha, Shu Kashiyoshin Chatzi Shah B'Layla. So too at night time, if you slept for half an hour, then you would make the bracha. You would then you would wash until it's time with the bracha in the morning. But by the way, if you do a night flight and you're not sure whether you're going to sleep, I'm a bad sleeper on planes. I find it very hard to sleep on planes. So then you would not make the bracha of Hamapil, because if you're not sure if you're going to fall asleep, so then you wouldn't make the bracha. If you've slept more than half an hour, it turned out you did sleep, so then you would be able to wash your hands. You say brachas in the morning, no problem. 30 minutes is the cutoff. During the day, you slept for 30 minutes, then you would wash your hands, but without a bracha. Let's just finish off the Mishnah and then we'll leave it there. Sif Kot and Chaf Hei. So this is going on. That if a person doesn't personally benefit from these brachas, he didn't get dressed, he didn't hear the kol tarnagol, so the mechaber says you say the bracha without shema malchus, and the Ramah says no, you say it properly because it's not just on you. It says lo nischayva, because these brachas were not personal brachas, they're on the whole of mankind. Even if you happen to be in a place where there are no cockerels crowing, mevarich. And so too, a summa mavarich Birchas Pekech Hirim, a blind person still does say the bracha of Pekech Hirim. V'chein cheirish af she'en yochel lishmoa kol tarnagol, and so too a deaf person who cannot hear the voice of the cockerel. Yochel levarich Birchas anusin lasech v'bina. V'chai adam kosov the cheirish yamtim levarich bracha zu at sheyeir hayom. You should wait until it gets light. Mavarich, because other people can therefore help him. I think mavarich eson ein lekamon. Besimen Memzayin Mr. Bruce Cotton Lamdala for Be'aloch Hasham Masha Kasavna B'Shem Aprim Godin. Okay, we'll leave it there. Mr. Shem will do test tomorrow.